Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my first stamping video. Today I'm going to make a card using this Beautiful Day stamp set. I'm just getting ready for some May and June birthdays in my life. So here we go. I've already pre-stamped this image using the archival black ink, and I stamped it onto the shimmer paper and set it to dry. I'm now going to use this stamp set to stamp another butterfly directly onto my Whisper white cardstock. So I'll take my stamp, ink it up, make sure I have full coverage. There we go. And I'm going to stamp this just so that the wings go slightly off of my paper. Okay, so I didn't get quite the stamped image that I would have liked. That's okay though. So I will get my Stampin' Right marker and use the slightly thicker nub, and I will fill that in. There we go. Not a problem. Now I'm going to use the Happy Birthday image from this stamp set as well to stamp a sentiment down at the bottom. There we go. Now that that's done, I can put away my black ink. And I'm going to use this cute little flower from the stamp set as well. And I'm going to just add a little bit of color to the background of this using some lemon lime twist. Missed a spot. There we go. All right. Set that to the side. Now that that's done, I'm actually going to glue all of my layers together. I like using the Tombow adhesive. I find that it just gives a little bit more flexibility when you're placing papers to be able to line them up and get them nice and squared. And just slightly drag this around while it's still wet to really get it positioned where I want it. And I just put this onto a piece of basic black cardstock, and my card base is actually Tempting Turquoise. There we go. With that done, we can set that off to the side. And I'm going to use my aqua painter, some lemon lime twist, and some Tempting Turquoise to color in this beautiful butterfly. I'm going to start with my lemon lime twist. Just put a little bit on the tip of my aqua painter. Starting out here, a little bit darker, letting it get lighter as we come into the center. Using these aqua painters is so easy, and I find doing this on the shimmer paper means that it doesn't warp or pucker up as much as the standard Whisper white paper does. Alright, now I'm going to use the Tempting Turquoise. And I don't mind that my colors blend a little bit. They complement each other nicely. Okay, I find the trick to using watercolors when you're not using watercolor paper is to not apply too much water and to move quickly when you're working. You can always go back and add more color after this has dried if you want to darken up areas. But you just really don't want to get too much water on the paper at once, otherwise it warps the paper. Okay. And I went out just a little bit there on the side. That's okay though, because I'm going to fussy cut this later. So if I want to go all the way out of my edges, that's fine. Alright, just about done painting this beautiful butterfly. I love how these two colors go together. Oops, not quite enough there. Okay, now looking at this, there's just a few spots that I'd like to even out. I'm going to go back and add just a bit darker color there. Put in a bit more dark color there. A bit darker right there. Alright, I'm very happy with that. Just lightly brush my aqua painter to get the color off. Now we can just let this sit to dry, or I can use my embossing heat tool to just dry this quickly so that I can cut it out. So excuse the noise. Alright, that should be dry enough that I can now use my paper snips to fussy cut this. And when I'm cutting this, I'm actually not going to worry at all about keeping the body intact or the antennae. So it's a little bit less fussy because they are going to be visible on my stamped image on my card after the fact. So I'm not going to worry at all about that. These are nice to cut out because they are a little bit larger of a line around them, so you don't have to be quite as fussy when you're cutting them. Right. There we go. So all those scraps can just go away. I always like to keep a little scrap bin on my desk so that I can easily keep my workspace clean and clear. Notice how when I'm cutting, I never try and maneuver those scissors around. I always work so that I'm cutting in towards my image. All right. So before I adhere this to my paper, there were just a few spots that I got some white showing when I cut, and the paper kind of didn't cut as nicely as I wanted it to. So that those don't kind of stand out on my card, I'm just going to take my black pen and color in those little white spots so they don't stand out. There we go. All right. So next step is to flip this beautiful butterfly over. We're going to put just a few Stampin' dimensionals on the back, and we're actually going to overlay this on our stamped image on our card. I'm going to put, actually use my snips to make some smaller pieces here to put along the center of our butterfly so that it stays well supported in the middle as well. There we go. These are so quick and easy to use and add that dimension that makes such a difference on a card. All right. Now, I purposefully let that one wing overlap just a bit so that it would look like it was really popping right off the page. There we go. Final touch, I'm just going to add a couple of rhinestone jewels. I find that I prefer using jewels and other embellishments like this in threes. It's just more appealing to me. Oh, there we go. There is our finished card.